Hello, my name is Jenny, and I'm with Ayurveda for Veterans. Welcome to this intro course to Ayurvedic self-care routines. Today I want to talk to you about how to combat burnout from military service. Today we're going to understand the causes, stages, and imbalances of disease, and learn Ayurvedic self-care routines and be able to start your self-care practice. The causes of disease. So Vata, which is space and ether, out of all the three doshas, Kapha, Pitta, and Vata, Kapha being earth and water, Pitta being fire and water, Vata, because it is ether, which is space, and air, which is light and subtle, it is the weakest out of all of the doshas. It's very prone to imbalance because of the space, because of the movement. It's always in movement. So Vata is very sensitive. And because of that, most imbalances are caused by Vata and Pitta. And when we see those imbalances, they will be manifested as pain within Vata, or Pitta, you'll see inflammation. And with Kapha, you'll see more mucus. But when we look at disease today, I want to primarily talk about Vata and Pitta, pain and inflammation. So Vata, being ether and air, is the weaker set of the doshas and is very prone to imbalance. So here we see the three primary causes of disease. We have crimes against wisdom, unseasonable variations, under, over, or abnormal use of the senses. So in crimes against wisdom, we are probably guilty of this more than we think. We like to think that we're very smart with our choices, but a lot of the times we choose a lot of things because of either past experiences, nostalgia, or just our patterns. We are just prone to those thought patterns or beliefs that have caused us to create cycles of how we eat, how we think, how we live. Crimes against wisdom is doing things that we know are not good for us. So an example here, just like in the picture, overeating. So many times guilty of it, of overeating. Like, who doesn't like to indulge? I love food. I'm a foodie. Who isn't nowadays? There's like everything's big portions. And, when we know we're doing wrong, we're not only doing harm physically to our bodies, we're doing harm to our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body, because we're hurting ourselves and we know it. So because of that, it's a primary cause of disease. We know we're hurting ourselves. If we know we're addicted to sugar, but it's creating diabetes, that's a crime against wisdom. We want to smoke cigarettes, but we're developing lung issues because of the smoking. We know this. This has been brought to our attention. It's not rocket science. It's a crime against wisdom. We know better, but we're choosing to not do better. So that in itself is the number one cause of disease. The second is unseasonable variations. We've already discussed the doshas within the seasons and how, like characteristics of a dosha, such as cold and cold. Like in the picture, this guy's taking a ice bath while eating a popsicle. This unseasonable variation can cause people to get sick and can be a primary cause of disease. If we keep, putting light qualities together, it's going to increase that imbalance the more we do it and the longer it goes on. Under, over, and abnormal use of the senses. An example of overuse of the senses would be loud noises. Working in the military, you may have experiences loud noises. You may have had to wear earplugs to block out loud sounds. This would be overuse of the senses. This would be overuse for your ears, and it can cause hearing damage or hearing loss. Abnormal use of the senses would be maybe having to be stuck in a closed, confined space for a very long period of time. That would be an abnormal use of the senses. Humans are not meant to be in a closed, confined space over a long period of time. It can cause disease. It can cause imbalance. It can cause health problems. And finally, underuse of the senses. Underuse of the senses would be considered someone working in a dark room all day. And then when they experience the light, they may experience the light very intensely because they've been in a dark room all day. So that underuse causes sensitivity, but over time it can cause disease. So in Ayurveda, you'll see Agni represented as fire, but Pitta and Agni are different. In Ayurveda, Agni is important. Agni is digestion. It's how you are taking in everything that you put into your body, anything that you give to your senses. How are you digesting it? How are you transforming it? How are you burning it? Are your fires low? Are they unstable? Are they balanced? Or are they high? And your Agni is dependent on you. It's unique for you and to you. It's unique to your lifestyle. What are you eating every single day? Is it causing an imbalance in your Agni, in the way you're digesting and eating the foods and transforming that foods into either nutrients or waste? How are you absorbing this information? Agni is everything that embodies that transformation. To maintain your health, your gut health, your entire being, you need to have proper transformation. You need to have a good, strong Agni. Your fire needs to be burning balanced and bright. Ayurveda helps you take a look at what you're doing every day. What is your lifestyle? What is your Vikruti? What is your current imbalance that's causing your Agni to be unstable or low or very high? The goal is to create balance. So you're digesting everything that you give to your body, everything that you give to your mind, everything that you give to your emotions. You're able to process them. You're able to take the nutrients, take what's valuable, and be able to throw away what is not. Your discernment, everything that has the power to transform is Agni. And it goes deep within the cellular level, deep within our bodies. It helps build and transform the tissues. And it helps you on a surface level be able to take in this information that I'm presenting to you. You're able to use the fire that you have to digest all of this information. So Agni is important. Ayurveda understands that your gut health is connected to what's happening in your body. So we understand that food plays a major role into your health. And correcting this Agni is important so we can get rid of the toxins, bring in the nutrients, build better tissues, and create resilience in the body. The 6 stages of disease. So now that we've talked about the causes of disease, we understand that Vata is already the weaker set of the doshas. Because it's space, it's ether and air, it's dry, it's light, it has a lot of space in between, it's not very strong. We know that already Vata is prone to disease, and when Vata creates disease, it is manifested through pain. And Pitta is also manifested through inflammation. And as we grow older, we will be in our Pitta years and we will be in our Vata years. So if we're already experiencing a Vata Pitta imbalance, it will progress as we get older. And depending on our Prakruti, we can see how the imbalance of Vata and Pitta are affected within the body. We can understand through the crimes against wisdom, through the 3 primary causes of disease, maybe how we ended up at the imbalance. Did I do something that I knew was wrong for me, but I did it anyways? Did I go to a concert and stand right next to the speakers and lose my hearing for 3 days? And how is our digestion? How are we taking in this information? Is our Agni low? Do we have a low fire? So knowing this information, we can dive deeper in understanding the 6 stages of disease and where we can implement prevention. So here we see the 6 stages of disease and prevention. At number 1, we have the accumulation phase. You may start to notice an imbalance in your doshas or accumulation of the doshas, and it will start to cause an imbalance. Here you see a faucet dripping. The faucet is your body that was operating correctly, and you started to get an accumulation of water, and the body became weak, and the faucet became weak, and the water started to drip. So accumulation usually starts at their own site. You may have accumulation of Vata where you have excess dryness in the colon, so you could experience constipation. You could have excess accumulation of Kapha where you have too much congestion and you may have like a runny nose. This accumulation starts to overflow and drops into a bucket. And this bucket is where we end up at number 2. So when you have an accumulation of a dosha, you'll start to experience a little bit of imbalance. And it may be intermittent and it will come and go. And you probably will notice it a little bit, and then you'll make a few changes and you won't notice it again. Or if you continue to do it, your body builds a resistance or an aversion to what you're doing. And usually you'll be fine. You're still healthy, but you just have a little bit of an imbalance that can easily be fixed. But you'll feel it. You feel the difference. You feel that something isn't right. So if you ignore the accumulation stage, it will start to progress into the provocation stage, which is number 2. The water will start to drip into the bucket. And this provocation is the dosha is being very aggravated. And it's no longer producing mild symptoms. These symptoms are getting a little bit more severe. For example, eating a cheeseburger late at night. The cheeseburger will cause a little bit of indigestion. This indigestion will accumulate over time if you don't change your eating habits. But let's just say that you keep eating burgers every day, every single day. The indigestion turns into heartburn. You have now aggravated the Pitta dosha, and it is provoking this imbalance to become worse. You're getting heartburn, you're getting nausea, you're getting horrible pains. So back to the picture, the bucket is filling with water and it's starting to overflow, and this water is starting to spread. So at the third stage, we can go back to the hamburger example. So as you keep eating these cheeseburgers and hamburgers, the disease the heartburn, your symptoms, they start to progress. And what you're doing to your body, the dosha, the imbalance of the dosha starts to spread to different sides of the body. And it finds where it's weak. It finds the weak tissues. So now you're starting to experience symptoms in different parts of your body. It's no longer in your stomach. It's in your small intestines. It's starting to create inflammation in your joints. And this Pitta is also changing your Agni. It's changing your digestion. It's changing your weight. It's spreading. It's spreading to different parts of your body. And you're going to see it manifest. And it'll start to localize. And at number 4, you can see the water starting to localize to these healthy plants. And at first, the plants are healthy and they're alive and they look fine. They look resilient to this water. And at first, the doshas, they're going to accumulate all over again. They're going to accumulate and localize at this site where it spread, this Pitta. This spread will start to go and find weaker tissues in the body, the tissues that have experienced weakness or past trauma, whether it be in our genes or something, an injury or illness we experienced a long time ago. This localization is a manifestation of an excess Pitta dosha. So as this dosha starts to spread, it's good to be aware that our bodies are constantly building and rebuilding tissues, cells. We're always eating so we can fuel our bodies, so we can constantly thrive and be alive, so we can keep producing new red blood cells or things that need to regenerate. When these doshas get aggravated and they accumulate and get provoked, they start to spread. And then they localize on the weaker tissues. And once we start eating hamburgers, cheeseburgers all day, every day, we're starting to build tissues from these cheeseburgers and hamburgers. And there's no nutritional value in that. So these tissues become immature and toxic. This excess Pitta will start to be built within this tissue, and the tissue itself starts to become imbalanced. You may have a part of your body that experiences inflammation, and it's just that one part of your body. Your tissue is being affected by the Pitta dosha from stage 1 or stage 2 or stage 3. This stage is very detrimental and is very great for prevention. So once you have a buildup of the imbalance of the dosha within the tissues, it starts to manifest. Symptoms start to manifest more, and you're going to get a clearer diagnosis from what's happening to you. And by this time, the manifestation stage, you're going to the doctor and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you when all this time you felt subtle imbalances but chose to ignore them. So you have a manifestation of a disease now, or an illness, or an injury. And it's crucial that we protect the tissues that we're destroying due to this imbalance of a dosha. And for our example, the Pitta dosha. The Pitta dosha is essentially burning the tissues, and it's not being able to form properly and function properly. So here we see destruction. Not only do we see one manifestation or symptom, and realizing that the tissues are being aggravated by this dosha, we're seeing destruction of the tissues because there's too much aggravation of the dosha. You may experience a lot of complications within an illness, injury, or disease at stage 6. And by this time, you may have noticed destructions to those tissues. For instance, with our cheeseburger hamburger example, you're going to see maybe erosion of the stomach lining over time with repeated indigestion or excess acid in the stomach. Ulcers, it's destroying that organ. It's destroying your digestion, the tract. A lot of people can get holes in their esophagus. Not only are we destroying our tissues, we keep feeding ourselves food that isn't going to help us heal properly to rebuild those tissues and get this injury or imbalanced dosha out of the tissues. We have to draw it out with herbs and good foods. And we have to bring life and vitality back into the tissues. So at stage 5 and 6, 4, 5, and 6, a lot of the times you're seeing a doctor. And most of the times in Ayurveda, you will see an Ayurvedic doctor. So you can properly get prescribed those herbs that are going to draw out those toxins, draw out that pitta inside your tissues so it can go back and use its higher form of intelligence, its healing powers, to become a functional stomach again. So stage 1, 2, and 3 are great for Ayurvedic health counselors, and it's great for prevention. So if you are starting to feel an imbalance, a health counselor can help guide you into creating a lifestyle that won't cause accumulation or provocation and spread. A lot of the times when we're, ready to take care of our health or create lifestyle changes, we're in the manifestation or destruction phase. So it's good to be aware of where you're at and what your healthcare goals are, because we don't want to pay. Nobody wants to pay out-of-pocket medical expenses. It's expensive. And most of the time, if you're getting free care, is that care actually pretty great? Are you waiting months? Are you getting answers? Are you actually getting help? Are you still suffering? Ayurvedic lifestyle changes help you learn what dosha is imbalanced so you can bring balance back into your body. So you're not suffering anymore and you're not experiencing destruction of your tissues. It gives you the knowledge so you don't have to be tamasic anymore. You don't have to live in the dark and be confused. So now that we know the stages of disease, we can see common Pitta and Vata imbalances. Some common Pitta imbalances are anger, stress, burnout, skin irritation, hypertension, diabetes, diarrhea, ulcers, and inflammation. Common Vata imbalances are anxiety, insomnia, dry skin, loss of smell or hearing, sciatica, back pain, constipation, and IBS. So here we have some common Pitta and Vata imbalances, and a lot of the times we experience these on the daily, and it's because of our job or our past, and a lot of the times we have come up with ways, strategies to help us, cope with stress or back pain or dry skin, and it's based off of what we've been taught by society and what we've been told and what we learn and what we read. So Ayurveda helps you recognize these imbalances, through the qualities of Pitta and Vata. And because we know the qualities of the elements, we can understand how to bring balance back into the body. Even if there's stress or anger, burnout, anxiety, or insomnia, Ayurveda helps you manage your daily life and those daily imbalances so you can create more security in your life. So it's good to know how to create balance. Because we are all prone to these imbalances, Ayurveda teaches us self-care practices to help us restore balances in our daily life. So we're going to go over a few ways you can create balance. So in Ayurveda, creating balance is by removing toxins from your body. If we have ingested things that are not good for our senses, we need to bring our body back to baseline. So in order to bring the body back to baseline, we must help the body remove the toxins that we have put in it. And some very gentle ways you can do that is tongue scraping and oil pulling, yoga, pranayama, and meditation, having an energetic diet, practicing abhyanga, having good sleep, and practicing the absence of the five senses. We're going to go deeper into these practices, and we're going to start with an energetic diet. So food as energy. Your tongue is connected to the major organs in your body. And the first part of digestion is eating. It's putting the food in our mouth. It's tasting the food. So when we put food in our mouth, we immediately taste all the flavors. Ayurveda recognizes the 6 tastes, and those tastes are astringent, bitter, pungent, sweet, sour, and salty. We can see here that the 6 tastes are very tied and connected to the 5 elements, and each taste can be connected to a dosha. Food has qualities that can change our internal environment. When we eat food, our first stage of digestion is in the mouth. It's chewing it, it's tasting it, it's breaking it down. So when we eat to a certain taste, we bring in certain qualities in the body. Ayurveda goes a lot deeper into these qualities and how it affects your doshas, how it affects Pitta, Vata, and Kapha. So here we can see that each taste has the power to change the internal environment of the body. With an astringent flavor, we're going to see a reduction of Pitta and Kapha and an increase of Vata. With a bitter taste, we're going to see a decrease in Pitta and Kapha and an increase in Vata. Pungent, we're going to see an increase in Pitta and Vata and a decrease of Kapha. And with a sweet taste, we're going to see a decrease in Pitta and Vata and an increase of Kapha. And sour and salty have the same characteristics by increasing Pitta, decreasing Vata, and increasing Kapha. So with that being said, each food has a specific flavor. Ayurveda helps you identify the taste of your food so you can learn how to create balance. If you have an increase of Pitta, Ayurveda teaches you to eat astringent and bitter foods to calm Pitta. But at the same time, being aware that you're going to increase Vata. A health counselor helps you fine-tune your diet. It helps you learn how to understand your body through the use of food. And this food is bringing you health and vitality and improving your tissues so you're able to heal faster. So food as energy is an important concept because we're not just eating because we're hungry. We're eating for a purpose. We're eating for the higher purpose, for the higher consciousness of ourselves. So as you go throughout your day, when you start to eat, I want you to take subtle notes of the flavor and maybe think about some of the imbalances that you have and how you can apply Ayurveda to what you're doing now. So because we eat, our tongue has the taste receptors. We're tasting all of these great foods and all of these pungent, bitter, sweet aromas. The tongue is connected to the major organs of the body. And whenever we produce waste from the intestines, the bacteria travels to the tongue, and you can accumulate bacteria on your tongue. And a lot of people experience bad breath, which is a buildup of the toxins, or an increase of tartar production because of this bacteria production. So tongue scraping is an ancient technique. It's basically taking a oral hygiene device, which is used to clean the upper surface of the tongue. So tongue scraping is where you take an oral hygiene device, preferably stainless steel or copper, and you drag it across the tongue to scrape all that bacteria off of your tongue and essentially off of your intestines, your pancreas, your stomach, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, all of those organs that are excreting this bacteria, you're help cleansing that away. So tongue scraping is very simple. It's very easy. It takes like 3 seconds in the morning. So you want to hold your tongue out, take the scraper and start at the back and gently scrape the tongue from back to front, firmly, not too hard. And you're going to see a residue come on the scraper. It's pretty cool. In Ayurveda, the color of the bacteria is a tool for diagnosis. We can see, what is this bacteria doing? What are the qualities, and what are the qualities of your digestion? What are we seeing more of, like, being built up of? Because these toxins are showing you an imbalance. And it's a very easy, subtle thing to pick up if you're doing this every day. You can know how to maintain the balance within your digestion by looking at your tongue. So after you tongue scrape, you essentially want to oil pull. And after you scraped all that bacteria off of your tongue, you want to swish oil around your mouth for about 15 minutes. And the oil depends on your constitution, and it is unique to you. But here are some, general guidelines. If you have a sensitive or dry mouth, you want to use warm sesame seed oil. If you have a lot of sores or heat, itching in the mouth, you want to use warm coconut oil or ghee. And if you have excess moisture or mucus, use salt water. And what this does, what oil pulling does, is the oil has properties to pull more toxins out of the tongue, out of the mouth, out of the gums, and, in the deeper sense, out of the organs. And it helps purify the mouth and clean it. Once you're done swishing the oil, you want to spit it out in the trash because you don't want to mess up your pipes. With the oils, you want to ingest them warm. You want to swish them warm. So it's nice if you prepare a coffee cup, about just maybe like an inch of water, boiling water, and you put a shot glass in there with and you put a little bit of oil in there to swish to get it all warmed up. Place the oil in your mouth to swish for about 15 minutes, and this will pull the toxins out of your mouth. And it's a very gentle, easy way to detox. Yoga, pranayama, and meditation. Yoga, pranayama, and meditation. Yoga is a sister science of Ayurveda, and it is very helpful for getting in touch with your subtle bodies. And what yoga and meditation and pranayama do is they help remove the toxins within our emotional and subtle bodies. All of the things that have caused past traumas or pain, just by stepping back, being quiet, being still, opening the body, stretching the muscles, calming the mind, heals those mental anguishes. It helps things come to light. It helps you become more aware. It helps you feel your body, get in touch with your mind. It helps you strengthen the mind-body connection so you understand what you're giving your senses. How are you feeling through your journey of life? How are you taking in all this subtle information, all the subtleties around you all the time, the lights, the sounds, the air? Yoga, pranayama, and meditation are great self-care practices to do every single day. I want to encourage you to practice all three of these every day. Start by meditating. Start deepening your breath. Start expanding the belly and bringing the belly button to the chest, breathing with your diaphragm. Start using all of those organs, feeling the muscles in your stomach and realizing how you're breathing and the way the breathing is affecting you, the way breathing is affecting your body, how it helps you process things, how it helps you digest, how it helps you remove waste. All of these practices are so gentle and so healing, and it's very simple. They're very simple things you can do every single day that will help you center and give yourself what you need so you can take on whatever you need to do, whatever you need to face, whatever you need that's going to make you more resilient. A yoga, pranayama, and meditation practice will keep you resilient. Absence of the five senses. Ayurveda teaches you about your five senses. It teaches you awareness, and it teaches you everything that you're giving yourself, everything you digest and you absorb and you take as nutrients and you take as waste. And it's good to just cleanse the senses every now and then so you can, release all the things that you need to let go of. So whenever you take in new information through the senses, they're more purified and clean, and you have a good discernment of what is good for you and what isn't good for you. So if you just restrict the senses about 15 minutes a day, you can do this with your meditation routine as well. And it's just going deeper within. It's putting on earplugs. It's putting on a mask. It's covering the ears and being in a very quiet place, experiencing silence and just being, just breathing, just sitting with yourself and seeing what that feels like. I guess it's kind of like a timeout for your senses. If you're feeling an overload and feeling overwhelmed and you want to break, this is a great way to give yourself a break. And it's so easy to do. And it just, you can start slow, 5 to 15 minutes every day, and see what that does. See how you feel. See if it makes a difference in what you're feeling. If you feel more, centered and calm and grounded in where you are in life. Abhyanga. Abhyanga is a oil massage, and the oils, once again, just like oil pulling, is unique to your dosha. It's specific to you and your Vikruti. So your Prakruti, your energy that you're born with, and your Vikruti, the lifestyle that you're experiencing now, and the imbalances due to that lifestyle. So Abhyanga is a beautiful practice, and it actually translates to self-love. And you warm the oil just like you would as if you were oil pulling, inside the mouth. But you would take this oil after it's warm, you would pour it all over your body. You would start at the head, around the ears, the eyes, the face, going down to the neck. You want to take all this Vata energy, all this movement, air, the sounds, like all of that is Vata. What the oil does is it comes in and it creates this protective shield around you, and it's nourishing the skin, and it's going deep in the tissues, and it's bringing nourishment there. But these oils should be 100% organic. If you cannot eat it, you should not put it on your body. So depending on your dosha or your imbalance, it may depend on what oil you need. Sesame seed oil is great for building strength and creating softness, and it gives warmth to those who experience cold or dry skin or Vata imbalances. Sunflower and almond oil, it's neither heating or cooling, and it's kind of a doshic type of oil. It brings balance, and it's not as oily as sesame seed oil. So it's a great alternative if you have a hard time absorbing the sesame seed oil. Mustard oil is light and healing. It's light and heating, stimulating for cool and heavy body types. So if you're a kapha body type, mustard oil would be for you. And coconut oil is cooling to those who run hot or have sensitive skin. So if you're a Pitta type, you can use coconut oil. And, oiling your body. So these oils also can change based off, the dosha of the season, the dosha of your life cycle. And it's not really specific. It can change. And like I said, due to your lifestyle and imbalance at the time, you may need something different. So it's good to keep an eye on your body, and it's good to get with a health counselor for more information about Abhyanga and going deeper and using herbal oils to help maintain some of the tissues and bring more nutrients. So Ayurveda recognizes that sleep is important. It's imperative to healing. It's imperative to the function of your body. It's imperative to mankind because human beings are supposed to sleep at night and be awake during the day. That's normal. So for proper sleep to happen, we need to prep our internal environment. We need to make sure we're eating moist, warm, grounding foods, drinking, calm herbal teas, creating a gentle, calm space by doing meditation or a yoga nidra at night. And externally, we want to prep our bedroom. We want to create a cool, dark room, maybe have soft music playing, lavender oil going on. Another practice is oiling the crown of the head. So using the Abhyanga oil, putting a little bit of warm oil on the crown of your head or on your feet and putting some socks on creates a great nighttime routine if you are having problems sleeping. So, in conclusion, becoming aware of the stages and causes of disease can help us take personal responsibility for our health. Learning to apply Ayurvedic self-care practices consistently can help us improve our well-being on a physical, mental, and emotional, as well as a cellular level. So, I would like to give you guys some homework. I would like you to try a self-care method consistently, and I would like you to journal your experience. Thank you so much for watching. Please connect to the Facebook group at Ayurveda for Veterans.